Most people believe banks are neutral institutions, that they treat every customer the same, that your money is your money, and the bank is just a place to keep it safe. That's not how it works. Banks operate on a tiered system, a hierarchy, and where you sit in that hierarchy determines everything. The fees you pay, the rates you get, the people you speak to, and the opportunities you're offered. Today, we're going to walk through every level, from $0 to $25 million. And by the end, you'll understand why the financial system works for some people and quietly works against others.
I'm Alex, and this video isn't about making you angry at banks. Banks are businesses. They do what businesses do. They prioritize their most profitable customers. Understanding that logic is not cynicism, it's financial literacy. What I want you to walk away with today is this: knowing exactly where you stand, what you're entitled to, and what becomes available to you as your wealth grows. Let's start at the bottom.
Level 1, $0 to $1,000. The invisible customer. At this level, you are not a customer. You are a liability. Banks make money in two primary ways from regular customers: fees and lending. If you have no money, you generate almost no revenue. So the system is designed, consciously or not, to extract what little it can. Monthly maintenance fees, $12 to $15 if you don't meet minimum balance requirements. Overdraft fees, $25 to $35 per transaction in the US. ATM fees, wire transfer fees, paper statement fees. Here's what's particularly striking about this level. A person with $500 in their account might pay $180 per year in fees alone. That's a 36% annual cost just to have a bank account. At this level, you have no dedicated banker, no advisor. You interact with automated systems, call centers, and branch tellers who are trained to sell you products, not solve your problems. The irony is precise. The less money you have, the more the banking system costs you to use.
Level 2, $1,000 to $100,000. The standard customer. At this level, the fees begin to ease, slightly. Most banks will waive monthly maintenance fees if you maintain a minimum balance of around $1,500 to $2,500. You now have access to basic financial products: a debit card, a savings account earning somewhere between 0.01% and 0.5% annually at most traditional banks, while inflation runs at 3 to 4%. You may qualify for a basic credit card, a small personal loan, typically at high interest rates, because at this level, banks consider you a credit risk. Customer service is still generalized, automated. If something goes wrong, a fraud claim, a disputed charge, you navigate it yourself through phone trees and online forms. The system at this level is functional, but it is not working for you. It is neutral at best.
Level 3, $10,000 to $100,000. The noticed customer. This is where the experience begins to shift. At $10,000 to $100,000, you become a customer worth retaining. Banks will now offer you what they call relationship banking, a dedicated branch manager or personal banker whose job is to understand your financial situation and cross-sell you products. Notice that word, cross-sell. It means they're trying to sell you more things, not necessarily the best things. That said, the products available to you genuinely improve. Better savings rates, access to money market accounts, mortgages and car loans at competitive interest rates, basic investment accounts and retirement products. At around $50,000 to $100,000, some banks will invite you into their preferred or select tier, reduced fees, better customer service response times, and a direct phone number to a human being. You're not important yet, but you're visible.
Level 4, $100,000 to $1 million. The priority client. At $100,000, and certainly by $250,000, the language changes. You are no longer a customer, you are a client. That distinction matters more than it sounds. You now have access to what banks call private banking light,
a dedicated relationship manager who knows your name, your financial goals, and calls you proactively. The fee structure reverses. Instead of paying the bank now competes for your business. No monthly fees, preferential mortgage rates, access to financial advisors, and basic wealth management services. At this level, banks begin offering you investment products that are not available to the general public: structured notes, preferred rate CDs, early access to IPOs. There's a critical caveat here. Not all of these products are in your best interest. A relationship manager at this level is still, fundamentally, a salesperson. The advice is better than before, but it is not unconflicted. By $500,000, you're considered a high net worth individual, an industry designation that unlocks a meaningfully different tier of service. Dedicated wealth advisors, estate planning consultations, tax optimization strategies discussed for the first time.
Level 5, $1 million to $5 million. Private banking. $1 million is a genuine threshold in banking. Above this number, you enter private banking. Private banking is a fundamentally different product. Not an upgrade, a different service entirely. You are assigned a private banker, a senior professional whose entire job is managing your relationship with the bank. They are available directly. No hold times, no call centers. Some will come to your home or office. What becomes available at this level? Lending against assets. Banks will lend you money at near prime rates using your investment portfolio as collateral. This means wealthy clients can access liquidity without selling investments and without triggering capital gains taxes. This single mechanism, unavailable below this threshold, is one of the primary ways wealthy individuals maintain and grow wealth while paying less tax than those with lower incomes. Bespoke investment products, access to private equity deals, hedge funds with $500,000 minimum investments, and alternative assets. Concierge services. At major institutions, JP Morgan, UBS, Credit Suisse, private banking clients receive services that extend well beyond finance: art advisory, real estate sourcing, legal referrals, travel management. The bank is no longer a utility. At this level, it is a partner.
Level 6, $5 million to $25 million. Ultra high net worth, the invisible world. Above $5 million, you enter what the industry calls ultra high net worth territory, and the rules change in ways that most people never see. At this level, you don't go to a bank. The bank comes to you. You are assigned a team, not a single advisor, consisting of a private banker, a portfolio manager, a tax specialist, and an estate planning attorney. All coordinated, all focused on your wealth. The investment universe expands dramatically. Direct investments in private companies before they go public. Co-investment opportunities alongside institutional investors. Real estate syndications. Infrastructure funds. Products with minimum investments of $1 million or more. Products that do not appear in any public brochure. The fee structure inverts completely. Banks pay to acquire and retain clients at this level. Signing bonuses in the form of preferential loan rates, fee waivers, free services that would cost thousands for regular clients. Perhaps most significantly, at this level, banks provide credit on terms unavailable anywhere else. A $10 million portfolio can generate a $7 million credit line at interest rates close to what banks charge each other. This is the mechanism that allows the ultra-wealthy to live entirely on borrowed money, spending without selling assets, without realizing income, and therefore without paying income tax. It is legal, it is documented, and it is completely inaccessible to anyone below this threshold.
So what does all of this tell us? The banking system is not designed to help you build wealth. It is designed to service wealth that already exists and to extract value from those who have little. That is not a conspiracy. It is a business model. And understanding it is the first step to navigating it intelligently. A few things worth remembering. First, at every level below $100,000, online banks and credit unions will almost always give you better rates and lower fees than traditional institutions. The brand name on your bank account is not an asset. Second, the investment products available to lower wealth individuals are not inferior because they're less sophisticated. Index funds, accessible to anyone with $1, outperform the majority of actively managed funds available to private banking clients. Complexity is not the same as performance. Third, the credit mechanisms used by the ultra-wealthy, borrowing against assets, tax loss harvesting, estate structuring, these are not secret. They are documented. As your wealth grows, learning these tools matters. The gap between how a bank treats someone with $500 and someone with $5 million is not just a difference in service, it's a difference in access to information, to products, to mechanisms that compound advantage over time. Knowing where you are in that system and what becomes available as you move up, that's not a luxury, that's literacy.